I took the long road home, past the trees and the jackrabbits in the weeds. I took the long road home, just to see what I could see. Well, it was a big wide world out there.
Morning, guys. What I thought I would do, since we are down in the teens, it looks like it is 14 degrees right now. It's about 8:30 in the morning here in Central Oregon. It is a very frosty morning, as it is still late December. However, one of the things I wanted to do was give you guys, I don't know, a sort of an update video, if you will. I get a lot of questions about cold starting. You know, something that's very temperamental like the 7.3 diesel. I've got some products we're going to be installing, that'll be in a separate video. But when we did the Odyssey and the XDP starter, I'll put that up in a card here somewhere. That review still gets a lot of traffic. In fact, I've been recently talking to the XDP folks about doing a few more upgrades if they wanted to partner with the channel here, so we can give them a full test and give you guys an opportunity to see what it looks like 3 years down the road, how everything's working. So when it being the teens, nothing's warmed up. It's totally frosty out there. Let's go start the bus up. And this is going to be twofold, because the other thing I want to show you that's very cool about not only diesels, if you get like a tuner chip, but the bus itself comes with a high idle kit built from Ford, so that if you're running any sort of auxiliary, say lift gate on a lot of the mini buses like the Adventure bus is, you know, you can high idle and get that charging capacity up. We've got some videos coming up here soon where we're going to be going over the auxiliary and battery system and power system that's on the bus, and some of the changes that we're going to be making in the future. However, one of the things that we've been talking about when we were doing the bus stuff is the DC to DC charging those house batteries from an alternator. I do have a shunt we're going to be installing, so we can see exactly how much power is being drawn and how much the alternator is putting it in, with this just classic system of a solenoid and a kill switch on the battery cables to keep those batteries topped off while you're driving. And to see what a 130 amp alternator off the 7.3 Powerstroke can actually do to charge your house batteries. But like I said, the high idle that the E350 has is fantastic, because as you'll see in a second, it's able to kick up the idle high enough in a diesel that I'm getting full 14 volts, and I can charge things and warm it up at a much higher idle without having to hold the pedal down or while driving. And that's something that is very cool. And so for the diesels, if you do a chip or you have something from the factory like that, that is a huge advantage to be able to keep your batteries going, wake up in the morning, use an inverter, and maybe make some coffee on an electric kettle, use some sort of other high usage electric device through your inverter, but still be pumping 14 volts into that battery while it gets that major draw off of, say, an induction cooktop. So let's go take a look, see how she starts. All right, out here in the bus, it is freezing. I can't wait to get the new seat built on the seat cover with the new foam that is not that sort of plexi vinyl. It is cold. But I'm going to turn this and let the glow plugs warm up a little bit. We're looking at 10.9 on the voltage right now, 11. That'll go back up once we obviously stop putting power to the glow plugs. Oh man, it is cold out here. All right, let's see what she does here. That was a lot. But what you're going to hear, probably see a little bit of smoke out of there, is with, no, I don't have it on. All right, well, that gives you an idea of, I think it's like 12 degrees outside. I probably could have cycled it a second time. I want to show you guys with just cycling for, we could time it on the video, probably about a minute, and then trying to crank it. That was probably a little bit longer than I almost always crank it for, without stopping and recycling. But with the e-brake on, it's also going to idle up. So instead of being at 12 volts, now what you're hearing is it idling up We're at 14.3. And so what that allows me to do is when the e-brake is on and it's just sitting here, I can get a full 14 volts out of my alternator just by idling up. I don't have a tachometer on here, so I can't tell you exactly what the RPM is at right now, but I would guess somewhere closer to 1700, maybe 2. I don't think it's that high. If I tap the brakes, that goes away. If I take the e-brake off, that goes away. It's a little module that's tucked in over here. But what that allows me to do is if I want to trip the solenoid over there, let's see if the voltage drops. We've got the manual connect up here. Alright, manual connect is on, solenoid switch is on, and I'm still at 14.3 anyway coming from this battery. So while this warms up, it can charge both batteries. Like I said, what we'll do is we'll get the shunt put on and just see what kind of power is coming in and out of those batteries. Now, the shunt I have is also able to keep an eye on the starter batteries. So I'm going to try to get it wired up that way. Stay tuned, that'll be a separate video, I'm sure. But cold starting with the kind of electric system and charging with the alternator, it's not ideal. But if you have a diesel, then you can either put a chip in or have the module to allow it to cook at 14 some volts. And if you're charging with an alternator at lower RPMs, you can actually overheat the regulator. I know it's counterintuitive that you're not pushing as many amps through it, but if you've got a newer system that has lithium and you're not using a DC to DC charger, that lithium can suck so much power out of your alternator that at lower speeds it can't cool itself. So you need the higher RPMs to cool off the alternator so that it can not only send more power but help cool off the alternator. That's the easiest way to cook an alternator. Now with the lead acid that I've got in the house batteries right now, it isn't really as big of an issue, but I am curious to see what the power is coming back and forth before we upgrade not only to a DC to DC but also to a lithium ion phosphate battery chemistry for the house battery. So stay tuned, guys. We're going to wait till this warms up, turn the heater on. You guys take care, and we'll see you down the road. Thanks for all the love and support. You guys are amazing. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow the adventure on social media, and we'll see you on the road.